All right, welcome back to Problematic Pop Culture with me, your host and researcher, Jules Castillo, and our co host, Evan from High Media. So today I wanted to kick off by saying Happy Black History Month. It is presently February 4th, and this entire month we're going to be doing Black History content or centering, Blackness, BIPOC communities, and I'll have a little sneak peek at the very end as to what we're going to talk about in next week's episode. But for this week's episode, because it's still a hot topic, we're definitely going to talk about the Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion feud. And I personally think I honestly loved Hiss by Megan Thee Stallion. That's my new rage
Likewise.
bop. It was so good. And Bigfoot, it was just not mixed well. And it was basically just Nicki using a bunch of tweets. But to introduce the lore to this beef, I wanted to go all the way back to Nicki's beef with Cardi B. And I honestly I remember the fight happening, but I didn't really know what it was about. Do you know what it was about? Like why?
Nicki's
I mean,
beef with Cardi B. Not off the top of my head. The only reason I've been following this so much is because I love Meg the Stallion.
well, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B are like best friends. So it's like that's another reason why people think Nicki was like poking and trying to make beef with Megan because she was so pissed that Megan did that collab WAP, which was also a bop. But let me look it up just real quick. So Cardi. So why do Cardi and Nicki have beef?
Oh, was that a request of me?
Oh, I'm looking it
Nicki,
up.
Nicki, and Cardi.
Oh, it's because apparently Nicki Minaj threatened other artists not to work with Cardi B. And Cardi B was like, okay, it's on site. I felt bad for
Wow,
Cardi. She got a knot in her forehead.
that's rough.
Nicki made comments on Cardi's ability to take care of her daughter.
Nicki made comments on Cardi's ability to take care of her daughter.
What I don't understand from Nicki is just like I used to see Nicki as this like powerhouse of like female empowerment, but like she only really has beef with other women in the industry. It's like,
It's pick me behavior.
yeah, and she also just like she's hard to work with and like she didn't anticipate the amount of people that would stop working with her because of who her husband is. Her husband's last name is Petty. I know that much, but he's also
Roman Petty
convicted.
is his name.
Yeah, he's a convicted
Jesus,
sex offender. Like he
he
held a
is.
16 point.
Yeah, that I think it's, and I think he got in trouble with the state of California a few years ago because when they moved there, he didn't declare that he was.
Yeah, and
Hence, go
that's
ahead.
why
Yes,
Megan says like these hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes mad at Megan's law. 'Cause Megan's law is the requirement that if you're a sex offender, you have to register in your neighborhood. You have to report that you are.
that was kind of the nail in the coffin, I think, at that point
Yeah.
because Nikki also, like, people forget about this because like it was a while ago and so much has happened, but who was the first person that collabed with Tekashi 6ix9ine after, you know, he basically ratted out all of his friends to the feds?
Yeah, like how are you gonna call Megan a rat when you collabed with Tekashi 6ix9ine, who is undoubtedly a rat? Like Megan's not a rat because she like that's not how it works. Like because you did make a point that she's not affiliated. However, it's not only that; it's that this dude shot her in the foot, and then people will be like, "Oh, it was fragments in her foot." It's like still he aimed at her foot, and bullet fragments got in there. Like he shot her, and it's like no, like I saw so many comments where it's like, you know, women do not need to make excuses for shitty men and for stupid men because he was on probation. Like, and he's acting like somebody like to be doing that shit, especially at like a billionaire's party because it was at Kylie Jenner's party. It's like you're behaving like somebody who wants to go back into prison. So like that's what you get.
Yeah. Even if he didn't, even if like Megan didn't testify or any of that stuff, He was gonna go to prison anyways. He's Canadian with an unregistered firearm on probation.
Yeah, shooting at an American.
Yeah. Like even if Meg didn't go with, even if Meg did, like, didn't say anything and she just kept it down or whatever, cops had enough. Like,
Yeah,
cops in America are stupid and incompetent, but like at that point, like,
not as
y-
stupid as incompetent as that dude though.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And
but can you pull up tweets though? Because
oh,
this
oh
is
yeah,
essentially, if you don't want to listen to her diss track, which sucked, Bigfoot, it was really bad. You can basically just
read
read
it.
all these tweets. Yeah, I want to hear you read it because I think it's funny when, like,
Okay.
I think it's funny when white men try to sound like cunty.
J- you presume that I'm going to say it, cunty. I'm going to say it exactly in this cadence. Your flow is such a bore. Drinking a bottle of Henny through a straw, bitch, you better stop that dialogue before I hit Carl and buy your catalog.
Girl, you
Sigh.
don't have any money anymore to buy a catalog. You're
No.
you're doing another tour to pay off your lease.
No, yeah, of course, because one of the things, because like something, like, here's the thing. This is not the behavior of somebody who has enough money to ignore this shit. People talk shit about Beyonce all the time. When the fuck does she ever clap back about anything?
Also, it's like Nikki, it's like why is Petty worth your entire career, like Roman Petty? Because first of all, it's not even like he's big anywhere in any sense. Like he's not. I don't think he has much street cred at all because nobody likes a fucking child predator. And so many like record deals and stuff like that, and touring companies stopped working with her when she married him. And it's like, what did you expect?
Her husband literally said publicly, I like it when she's immature.
Oh yeah, because we know why. And people keep
Mm-hmm.
roasting her, making comments. They're like, "Oh, if she keeps acting childish, her husband's never gonna leave."
One of the things that I was going to save for the Red Rundown, but there's some other stuff we can talk about that is unrelated to this, was this funny little tweet. Now, wait till they wake up and listen to what Ben Shapiro is saying in hashtag facts. The outrage on this one will be a tad bit delayed. Winky emoji.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Ben Shapiro was a feature on a rap song. I'm
Is Ben Shapiro even that relevant?
no, Ben Shapiro is not as relevant as it used to be because Ben Shapiro is Jewish. He gives off neocon vibes, and the people that used to be his audience are now much further to the right than where he was, and he was already a right wing dickhead. So Ben Shapiro has always kind of been the canary in the coal mines for how fucking bad the right wing is.
Yeah.
So, but like he and the funny thing about we'll get all into all of this in the Red Rundown. We'll play some of the music. I'll play his verse. Oh Lord, but the thing is it's not good. It's exactly what you'd expect if Ben Shapiro like had a half ghost written verse on a Tom McDonald song.
Circling back to Nikki though, what I find
Yeah.
interesting though is her trying to like call out like say that like Megan has a body count or whatever, or just like it's just like this isn't even.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And
it's like so do you, bitch. Like I don't know, like marrying a pedophile, like having sex with a pedophile every night in your bed is like 50,000 bodies, even though I don't even believe that body count defines your worth. And the way that Megan responded to it by saying, "Oh, these people think they lowered the value," all this like free promo about making a profit, like it's it's so weird how Nikki's entire thing is just so much like pick me behavior. Wait, I want to see this part. Talking about Megan's Law for a freebie, you could hit Megan raw. Like, ew. Like, you
you,
sound like
her
you
husband
sound
wrote
like
that one.
yeah. Like it doesn't even sound like somebody who cares about like women empowerment. Like, and she's like bad bitch. She like 6 foot. Like I call her Bigfoot. It sounds like you're insecure. Like,
Yeah.
the whole song just sounds so insecure, and it's not well mixed, it's so, like, unhinged, and, like, I think a bigger thing I wanna talk about is, why do we? Because so say, for example, I really loved Megan's diss track, I thought it was really well mixed, I thought it was really good, and then but there's just this thing too where Nicki said a long time ago with the whole Cardi thing, it's like, "Oh, like, I'm so embarrassed because, like, we're Black women in the industry, like, we shouldn't be acting like this," and it's like, "Dude, you're the one who starts it." Like, you are the problem. You're trying to act like Megan and Cardi are these uncouth women that, like can't like that aren't like classy or something like that. Like you're trying to imply that like you're so much above them, but like you don't empower women by pitting them against each other, and you also don't say that you speak for women's empowerment when you put down other women for things that are, patriarchal to even care about, like the body count. Like that's so dumb.
Yeah, and also it's like
She
I
says,
don't. Go ahead. Sorry.
"Fuck you, get shot with no scar." It's like, dude, why are you trying? Like, why are you also? So how the fuck can you say that you have morals, but you're married to a pedophile? How can you say that you care about people? Like, how can you bring up the fact that she got shot and like that it went to court? Like, how can you talk about this stuff saying she's a rat when how you brought it up? Like, she did a collab with Takashi 69, who is undoubtedly a rat. It's just so weird to me how Nicki Minaj is like just turning into like a 40-year-old pick me. Like that's so embarrassing.
I mean, who else besides a pick me would a woman who is secure and confident in herself and doesn't settle for a sex offender.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too is that Nicki, what blows my mind is that she came up around the same time as Beyonce. And look what Beyonce's doing. Beyonce has businesses, Beyonce makes movies, and on top of that too, Cardi's got businesses. Cardi's got the whipped cream with like vodka in it or something. I know that much. And Megan graduated college and she has a senior home that she runs. And I just think that that's another level to it too is like I think the reason that like Nicki is hyper focused on like talking shit about Cardi and talking shit about Megan is that they've eclipsed her in accomplishment.
And they're younger than her.
Yeah, and they just keep continuing to exponentially grow. And that's like what I see is really sad with Nikki's pick me behavior is like no one's denying that you made it in the industry, that you did well. Like if you want to go to comparison, let's go there. Like what business do you have? Like you're broke. Like that's why Megan said like you be broke as fuck because you're doing another tour to pay off a lease. And then the other thing too is like she threw away her career to marry Roman Petty because now nobody wants to work with her. And it's just like I think instead of Nikki bothering to like work on herself and grow and maybe address whatever the fuck she's insecure about, it's like you're hitting on these women and it's like very clear why. Like you're acting like you're unbothered, like all these lyrics are talking about how they're so beneath you. It's like why are they richer than you then? Are they younger than you and they've eclipsed your career? Why are they, you know, I don't know Nikki's background. I don't know. Is Nikki from the hood?
I don't know.
I know
Let me
Cardi
see.
was dancing at one point,
I
and
know
that's
I
not
know
to like
Cardi's from the
shade.
Bronx.
Yeah. I know Cardi was dancing at one point, and she's always openly talked about that as like, hey, I had to do what I had to do for money and stuff. But like, she's never she's never come at that with like an attitude of like poor me. She's always just been like, this is my background. If you got something to say about it, say something about it. Like, there's no shame in having to have gone that route for financial security. And Megan's from Houston, but like, these girls came from like these women came from like reasonably like hard means. I think at the beginning of their lives, and I'm not saying Nikki didn't, but it's like it would argue Cardi B's like start to fame and her trajectory is way more impressive than Nicki Minaj. Like just in
Nicki
the fact
Minaj.
of like about like
Sorry.
rags to riches.
Well,
Sorry.
Nicki Minaj, just to answer the earlier question of where she's from, she was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and she was raised in Queens. But I will say, and this is one of the things I wanted to say, like part of the difference between a Nicki Minaj and um, and versus a Cardi B and Meg The Stallion is Cardi B is very much is she's more politically active, I think, than either Nicki or Meg, and it advocates for, and generally, as far as I can see, whenever she's talk in the political sphere, advocates for policies and changes, um, uh, that help people in her, like in her community, or would identify in her as her audience as part of her community,
Yep.
as well as the fact that she also very much like, one of the things that really struck home to me was about her, that I liked about her, because while I may not vibe with a lot of her music on my end, I do love her as a person and her message as a person, in regards to, like, she was saying, like, hey, like, groceries are more expensive now. I
I
do the
saw
grocery
that.
shopping in my house. It is like, how are y'all doing out here? And everybody's like, not good. And
Yeah,
and
and she
and
even acknowledges, she's like, I come from privilege. She's like, I got money. She's like, but I still don't want to be paying more and more every 3 months. And
yeah,
she's very intelligent. I'm a Cardi stan. I love Cardi, but
yeah,
also Cardi is more marketable. Cardi is she's very popular in the Latino community. She's Dominicana, and she speaks Spanish fluently. She also raps in Spanish. In my opinion, some of the best I've ever heard. Like, she has these little snippets. I don't know if she has like whole songs in Spanish, but whenever I hear her, it's on beat. Like, it's so good. Like, and
yeah,
the
yeah.
other thing
If
too,
I had a follow up, FY,
Bad
finish your
Bunny.
thought. I did have a follow up. I did have a follow up.
But yeah, but the other thing too is like, I don't know, and that's the thing. Nikki, I know that she had like scholarships at a certain point because she claimed to care about education a lot.
Hmm.
Um, and which I also find ironic, because like it's like you're coming after Megan, like trying to imply that she's like a hoe and stupid or whatever, and it's like she's more educated than you.
Yeah,
Like she really, and Megan also has this thing where she doesn't rely on one career. Like, I love this quote from Megan where she said, "Don't have a plan A and a plan B, have two plan A's."
yeah.
And like she invests in herself, and
Well,
instead,
she's
and she
also a
doesn't
blurred. She's also a blurred, a black nerd. Huge.
yeah, blurred. And she's so like, also I think the other thing too is like, I don't know, because I don't want to make comments like, because here, because there were points where body shaming was going back and forth on both sides, because
Hmm.
like Megan was like real curvy, no etching, because the fact that like Nikki came for Megan's body and like calling her Bigfoot and like 6 feet tall and all this stuff, and it's just like, Nikki, you have no room to body shame at all, because we know what your pictures look like from, however long ago. Like, that's why you don't really see Cardi ever like going there. Like, Cardi doesn't really like, I don't really hear a lot of body shaming in Cardi's video. Like, maybe she might make comments on somebody's pussy being loose or something like that, but she doesn't really like make comments on like, um
She's a girl's girl.
yeah, Cardi is a girl's girl, and I do think that like, although Megan, she's like real curvy, no etching. As much as like I like that line, because like, I think it is empowering to like naturally curvy women. At the same time, it's like we don't have to put people down, but also like Nikki did it first. And like Nikki, it's like you come off so insecure when you talk about Megan's body, because we know that you've had a BBL. We know you have breast implants. We know that you've had work done on your face. Like, why are you taking it there? Because that's like ultimately a point that you can't win on. Like, you sound ignorant.
Yeah. And my macro point about Megan Cardi versus Nikki is that, you know they're just more in tune with their community, and they are more than just, their public persona is more than just woman rapper
Yeah, they're more
stereotype.
than their music. They've you're
Yeah.
right. They've taken the time to expand their empire into like philanthropy and like businesses and other things, and Nikki really hasn't because Nikki has a history of centering men in her life. Like, one of my favorite songs from her is, Barbie Dreams, and she basically makes fun of all the male rappers in the industry, and it's hilarious, but I realized something, that there's a pattern of her really caring about what men think about her more than, like, women or her community, because the other thing too is that she like, it's really sad because you see a lot of barbs now being like, like, this is not a look, this is not cute. A lot of her fans have turned on her, and I don't really know, like, I can only speculate whether or not she's surprised, but I think she's such a narcissist that she would be surprised by it, because also we have to consider that she's coming from a place now where she probably only has yes men around her. Like, she doesn't come off to me as the kind of person with, like, a temper that could handle, like, good criticism. Um,
Not at all.
because like, even if we go back to, like, the beef she had with Miley Cyrus,
I
like,
forgot about that. Oh my god, what
yeah,
was
where
that
she
even
said, "Miley,
about?
what's good?" That was funny. That was funny as fuck. I gotta say though, like, Nicki, that was iconic, being like, "Yo, Miley, what's good?" Like, 'cause you shouldn't say that shit to the press. Like, Miley was, like, really, like, unclassy for that. Because here's the thing, if I was, like, a celebrity, and if I, like, knew these people, if I was gonna run into these people at, like, events and stuff, like, if somebody asked me, like, "Oh, what do you think about this person?" It's like, I would comment on their career. I wouldn't comment on them as a person. Like, and then unless I just decided to really pop off, because sometimes I am like that on the internet. But
Karma did get
uh
Miley back though. Karma did get
yeah.
Miley back. Her she doesn't have a relationship with her father anymore because a co-star that was only a couple years older than her like from back in the Disney Channel days is now married to her dad.
No way. Who's married to her dad? Look that up. Look that up. I need this confirmed. I need to know exactly. But anyways, the whole thing that happened with Miley is Miley was being interviewed and she was asked about Nicki Minaj. And I think in the interview they were, asking more about, like, Nicki Minaj as a musician. And Miley says, like, "Oh, she's just one of those people that isn't very kind. Like, when I think of Nikki, I don't think of a kind person." And, like, whether or not that's true, it's like, I don't think they really asked you about that. I think they just asked you, like, what you thought of her as a musician. Anyways, so at the award show, Nikki proceeds to go, "Hey, Miley, what's good?" And whether or not that proved her point of Nikki being, you know, I don't know. I think that though was, like, fair, because I don't know. I think Miley, like, overestimated her status as, like, Hollywood royalty, um, and thought that Nicki wouldn't clap back.
Yeah.
Nicki has, like, a history of just, like, starting beef with people and tending to, like, only really, and, like, the times that she is, like, super aggro and, like, like, a bit, like, I wouldn't say unhinged, because sometimes it does come off gangsta. But, like, it's just, like, whenever I see her coming at women, she never comes at this point of, like, "Let's talk about it, let's discuss the issue." Because even though Megan's diss track is very much, like, playful and, like, "Fuck you," she does bring up good points. She's like, Megan's Law, and she also, like, says stuff like, "How come El" when she says, "Every time one of you Zila's hoes do an interview, I get mentioned." And, like, it's here's the thing, Megan didn't say a goddamn word while Nikki was going crazy, popping off on tweets. Like, I don't know if this is just Nikki's, like, grab for attention for her tour or something, but it's just not working, and she just lost so many people. Like, she's kind of going through the same downfall that, like, Doja did.
I forgot
Um,
about Doja Cat. I stopped fucking with Doja Cat when it was in that salon, did that salon like it was in like a beauty parlor, like in doing an interview in it, and was like being like mad colorist.
yeah, both Nikki and Doja have a history of colorism, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to if you are more than happy to be a pick me and uphold patriarchal power structures, I'm not
Of course, you
surprised if
pulled
you
up white supremacy. Yeah.
right. Yeah, of course. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Oh
Wait,
boy.
who's okay, Let's how much time do we got left?
We got 4 minutes left in the first half hour.
Okay, pull up who is married to fucking Billy Ray Cyrus, and then I'm gonna close in on what is our topic for
This
next
is
week.
her. Her name is Fire Rose, a singer-songwriter.
Bro, how old is she? That's so weird.
She is at this current moment 34 years old.
How old is he? Maybe that's not that bad.
62.
Oh, okay.
You want to know how old Miley Cyrus's daughter is?
Miley Cyrus doesn't have a daughter.
Not Miley Cyrus, Billy Ray Cyrus. Last name
Yeah, how old is Miley?
31.
She's oh god.
We're old. Yes, we're old. Um
Anyways,
she
so next
yeah, there's that.
sorry. I just had to know that. Anyway, so next week we are going to be talking about the Hunger Games franchise. Specifically, I'm going to be bringing on an essay that I wrote in college called Decolonizing the Districts, where we're going to be talking about um, not just the media spectacle that is the Hunger Games and how we can think about it in our, post-colonial world now, but specifically about the tributes from District 11 and kind of the necropolitics that's introduced to us in the Hunger Games about the bodies of black children and how they're treated in the Hunger Games world, and also relating that to a bit of black history, talking about the cases of George Stinius Jr. Um, and Emmett Till, because I think where a lot of people first watch the Hunger Games, they're like, how could children under 18 be sentenced to death? That's been happening to black little boys in the United States for a long time.
Yeah.
The youngest boy ever sentenced to death was George Stinius Jr. for a crime he did not commit, confirmed did not commit. And he was sentenced to death at 14 years old via the electric chair. So we're going to be going over that. That's going to be a heavy trigger warning. However, I would encourage you to still listen for Black History Month and catch yourself up on the Hunger Games films if you want to follow along with, the little essay presentation I'm going to give to Evan. And yeah, other things you can do for Black History Month is donate to Black creators. I highly recommend Academics on TikTok. That is Evan Mingo, a mutual of mine. Love them very much. I also suggest not just donating Black creators, but engaging in local Black business. Like this month, I really want to buy from Nothing Bundt Cakes. And on top of that, if you're gonna spend time online, really take the time to promote and uplift BIPOC voices, and the Black creator side of the internet is also very heavily aligning themselves with Palestine. So keep talking about Palestine as much as you can, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Before you guys go, two notes on my end as well. One, another Black creator you should absolutely go watch on TikTok is Critical Grace Theory. She's a Black lawyer, and she's wonderful. She's great. And two, for those who want to follow Jules here and also some of my stuff too, there is if you go to himedia.gg/ppcxtrr. It is basically functional link tree where you can find Jules's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and join the Discord and that will allow you to ask questions and engage while recording the stream of recording the episodes. We record these episodes Fridays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. Every Friday in the Discord. Also, my socials are up there, and this page will also allow you to listen to the latest problematic pop culture, the latest Red Rundowns. You can watch the videos or listen, whichever you prefer, as well as some Jules approved news, a Jules approved news feed from sources that she finds probably the least offensive as far as syndications go. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there so everybody had that information so you could better engage with problematic pop culture.
Thank you, Evan.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. I'm just doing the procedural. I'm just doing the
Oh, you're
the
doing good.
slop work.
You're the you're the glue. You're the industrial.
But yeah, everything Jules said, some of the things I said, Thank you guys for watching PPC, and stay tuned for the Red Rundown coming shortly. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Red Rundown. We're coming off of the Problematic Pop Culture podcast. We're gonna have a little bit less heavy shit, but it's still heavy. It's still heavy, just heavy with shit posts. We're just figuring it out. This is a hell world where we have no order and nothing matters and everything is stupid. But nihilism aside, how are you doing, Jules?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to hear. I like whenever you show me things. I'm ready for today's episode.
Are you now? Well, then let's start with today's.
You said that like you had something evil planned. You're like,
let us start with just real quick. Can you hear my? Let's make sure you can hear my audio. Can you hear this? Can you hear this? Okay.
Yeah.
You can. Awesome. So this, just to play up the joke of for the Gator Nuggets, and our continuous slander of Ariana Grande. This was a little bit more relevant last week, but we weren't able to record because of a death in the family on Jules' side. So, rest in peace, Luna. But that aside, this is I wanted you to see this. This is what Ariana Grande be hearing at night. You're welcome. You're welcome for that, by the way.
It's just like it's not that Ethan Slater is as bad as Roman Petty. Because like being SpongeBob definitely isn't as bad as being a convicted pedophile, but it's like Ariana, you nuked your entire reputation to be SpongeBob's mistress. Like, what are you on? Like, are you doing meth? Like, in what world is that a correct decision? You little gator nugget.
Another light little thing before we get into the two topics of the show.
I want it to be clear, when I call Ariana Grande a gator nugget, I fully intend for it to be insulting to her because she's a little gator nugget from Florida. But when I call my followers gator nuggets, it's meant with all love because I just want to eat you. No.
Yes. And gator's a good meat.
It is?
Yeah. It's definitely more of a stew meat in my experience, but generally pretty good.
Okay, what am I looking at?
All right, so this is Marjorie Taylor Greene presiding over the chamber of the House.
Damn.
The monkeys are running the circus.
They just said nah.
The laughter continues. I thought you'd like that too.
I keep seeing, so I've been watching a lot of court TV, and I keep noticing that, like, lady judges get the most disrespect in the courtroom.
Oh, 100%. But this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. There is nothing worthy of respect there.
Yeah, she sucks, but, like...
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's patriarchy. Like, just because, second wave feminism, carved space for women outside of the home doesn't mean that the fucking bigotry and shit isn't there. That's what we need third wave feminism is for. And by God, I wish people taught me more as a kid, like the difference between the two, because I was like, oh, I don't like this new feminism when I was talking about second wave, when I actually liked third wave, and I didn't know enough about feminism to have an opinion at age 14. So,
I think like the third wave's biggest here's my problem with the third wave is that the third wave also operates with like a lot of digital feminism, and that doesn't come a lot with actual grassroots efforts to help your community. And like third wave also has the same problem as like white liberal feminists, where there's this like anti-electoral sentiment in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of my only huge gripes with the third wave. I think that the first and second wave really suffer from the fact that they center whiteness over centering women, because the first and second wave did not view women of color as women.
Absolutely. The problem, and that was the first and second waves of feminism. Their two biggest sins, in my opinion, are exactly what you just said, like the centering of whiteness, as well as they also didn't excise like people that had the predisposition to be TERFs, like the people that hated men, and not like at like to such a degree that they would be trans exclusive.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Because
concept of TERF is stupid because all TERFs are more trans exclusive than they are radically feminist.
yeah, and they're also surprisingly more like, if you're a TERF, you're upholding systems of like white supremacy as well, because you're defining womanhood in this tiny little fragile white box that you need to fit, otherwise you're not a real woman. And a lot,
Exactly.
can you tell me about that dating app where TERFs tried to make a dating app where it's supposed to detect trans women, and it ended up kicking out most of the TERFs because it thought they were trans women?
Yeah, because when you uphold, patriarchal ideas of womanhood, don't be surprised when like things that don't conform to patriarchal ideals of beauty don't make the fucking cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's all that. Yeah. But here's the first story. This is going to be probably take a little bit less time compared to the last one because I'm about to tease like show you something, and I want to use it as a conversation about the fetishization of women broadly in media, and like just how, and taking away from artists' intent and forcing them to be something they're not. I think like is literally kind of like doesn't feel good, and it's also feels worse when it's like women in that regard. But before we get into that, I want to show you Ben Shapiro rapping.
No.
I'm sorry ahead of time.
This is why you laughed evilly.
Yeah. So for those who are unaware, Tom McDonald is the person that filled the void in the market when Eminem told all of the dickhead suburban white boys who only listen to Eminem when they who listen to rap, but only listen to Eminem when they say they listen to rap, that grew up to be racists and shit. Uh, after they got butthurt that Eminem told them to go kick rocks back in 2016 during the BET cipher. Um, so after Eminem told like a bunch of like his MAGA fans who grew up listening to him to kick rocks, Tom McDonald is the person that filled that void. So here's the
Didn't
go ahead.
Isn't Tom McDonald like that dude who just like says like a bunch of contrarian shit and thinks he sounds deep, but he just sounds like a conservative contrarian?
Yep.
I think a dude showed me Tom McDonald one time, and it was like the main reason I broke up with him, but I couldn't bring myself to just say your music sucked, so I just ghosted him.
That's about right. He did not write that fucking line. First of all, Ben Shapiro has said repeatedly, "I don't respect rap. It's not a real art form." This man is writing is as deep in conservative nonsense as he is because he couldn't cut it as a writer in Hollywood.
Yeah.
If just some dickhead executive in Hollywood bit the bullet and took one for the team and made one of Ben Shapiro's shitty screenplays, we wouldn't have him right now.
What were
But
Ben Shapiro's screenplays even about?
just milk toast, lukewarm, like Americana bullshit. Like just super
Ew.
like military like veteran hero stories, bullshit like that.
Yeah.
His screen presence is so fucking boring. Because it's like
I
for
can't
those
see
who are
it. I can't see the screen right now.
you can't see the screen.
No.
Why is it you? Here, let me run this back a little bit. All right, can you see it now?
No.
Hmm. Let me change the screen share real quick. I apologize for those listening. Uh, I'll also make sure to describe what we're showing on the screen. That way you guys can actually see it, what's going on. All right, how about now? Jules?
See it?
Can't, yes. Just heard you say see it. Was it you can or can't?
I can't see it.
All right. Well, we'll
But
just.
I do concur that I would assume that Tom McDonald doesn't have any fucking like screen presence. I
Oh no, I
doubt
was
he
talking about
even
Ben
has any
Shapiro.
screen presence.
He
Oh,
look
Ben Shapiro.
he Tom McDonald looks like he has a great amount of screen presence compared to Tom McDonald here. Look at this. Like, look, I'll show you. Hold on. Like, here's how Ben Shapiro is rapping, right? For those who he is literally just wearing a fucking hoodie. He's wearing a fucking hoodie, and he's just has his hands in his pockets, and he's standing like this with a head tilt and going back and forth like this. It's fucking
Short.
pathetic.
That's like a short dude stance.
It is the short dude stance. It's sad.
Like
Is what
especially
it
like
is.
because I lift my chin up like that. Like I'm 5 foot. Like I have like I don't have my hands in my pockets. I have my hands like out, and then but like I have my chin up because like that's like what short people do.
Oh yeah. No, oh no. You're a regular member of the Lollipop Guild. You're short.
I'm
Oh
Chapada.
yeah. But it's you can hear the audio, right?
Yeah, I can hear the audio.
All right, cool. He really rapped compound entrance with the words "your parents."
He
I
sounds
don't.
like the little. He sounds like the clones from Spy Kids. You know when they can't talk yet and they're like.
It's been so long since I've seen Spy
Look it
Kids
up.
too.
Look
I'm
it up.
sorry.
Look it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up.
Spy Kids clones.
Clones talking.
These ones. Talking. Let's make sure I get this right. Floop was straight to info. Is that fucking the guy who plays Monk?
You're not gonna find it, but the point is, like, he explains why he needs the brain, like the part that they're trying to protect, because the clones can't talk. Like, they're not really in. They're like they're machines, but they're not like really like intelligible. So they're just like.
Right.
That's
Yeah, no, he does sound like that. It's
Shapiro
pathetic.
sounds.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
It's like, how are you gonna try to like?
Sounds like a villager from Animal Crossing.
So what's next on the Red Rundown agenda?
All right, this is the long one. So, this was an entire fucking thing. Oh my god, I can't believe it. So this is like 2 weeks old, but I don't give a shit. Who gives a damn? Do you know who Verbalace is or Verbalace is?
No.
Okay, so Verbalace is a guy who does cartoon beatbox battles on YouTube, right? I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna go to YouTube, and we're gonna, he'll just like have like Thanos versus like Darkseid or something, and like he'll have these voice actors and stuff like do cartoon beatbox battles, whatever, with animation, the whole 9 yards. Can you see my screen at all? Or is that still a no?
Hold up, let me.
Yeah.
Ew.
Technical difficulties, everybody. Welcome back. Also, maybe
I'm
you can try
here.
your video and see if it works.
Alright, does my video work?
Nope. Then all I need to
Wait,
know is
let me-
if you can see the screen share.
Can't see the screen share. Let me hang up and come back.
Oh no, I hate everything. I'm so sorry for our listeners. Again, for those listening on the PPC side of things, this is like I'm just glad we're
back.
Oh, and so is your video. Look everybody on YouTube. It's Jules' beautiful face. She put makeup on for you. But yes, can you see this? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, cool. This is Verbalace. He basically does like these cartoon beatbox battles or whatever. They're like fine. He's the one who you probably reckon. I don't know if you've like seen it, but like he's the one who made um he did like this really cool beatbox thing. So why am I talking about this? Well, let's talk to another creator who you should absolutely be watching for very much more so comedic purposes. Is that one black guy 786? Very funny creator who I think is very entertaining. This dude, and he's gonna give us he's basically gonna give us the rundown.
Oh, he paid
So
50 bands for what?
this man paid $50,000 for this, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are listening, we are going to watch this in the verbal version. Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta re-Google it because somebody did a fucking copyright takedown notice. Let me see, is this the right one? Yep, I found it. So, we're going to just sit here for the next 2 minutes and watch this uncomfortable, awful thing, and I'm going to explain the backstory on why this cringy ass video is bad, and not just from a moral perspective, and we're going to rag on this guy, and then I want to use it as an opportunity to talk about how you about taking characters, especially regardless, and there is a certain level of fandom that is I think is inappropriate when you are fetishizing characters to a certain degree. Essentially, that's kind of what I was going for. So, for everybody who's listening, I'm going to be talking during this video, explaining what's happening, so you guys can at least understand what's going on and don't feel compelled to watch the video version. Also, I'm going to be keeping it muted for most of the time because everybody else has gotten copyright struck for it. So here we are.
Okay, I would mute it again.
Yeah.
I don't even think we need the music.
Yeah. Now, the song's a bop. Objectively, I hate this animation, but the bop. So basically, what's happening is that you have Charlie from Has Been Hotel, who's a lesbian, chasing a cartoon version of Verbalace, a 40-year-old married man who makes the cartoon beatbox battles, and he got teleported to hell outside of Has Been Hotel, and now she's chasing him through the streets of Has Been Hotel's universe's hell, and it's this cringy something out of a 14-year-old boy's chase sequence thing. There's hearts with her face looking bashfully at him, and
It's
now
also
he's
such
getting
a projection.
captured.
Why is he obsessed with this lesbian? Do they have beef? Why is he
Well, no, it's because I think you should watch Has Been Hotel. I think it's quite good. It's definitely it's definitely got the music scores I think is amazing, but yeah. So basically, now she captured him with magic light or whatever and teleported him somewhere. He's now floating through a heart shaped abyss, and she's singing at him. and now she like has a hold of him and is putting him into a kiss, and then it teleports away, and now he's tied to a bed, and now she's stripping, which locking the door, taking her shit off.
It's giving like Harley and Nightwing.
That is a perfectly good example. Okay, so, and that's the end of the video, basically. So basically, this guy. So here Jules is why, and let me see if I can actually. I'm gonna actually do something real quick. Let me. I'm just gonna pull up like a picture, like one of your TikToks, just so like the people know that I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Problem. Yeah, I make sure, as the guy who like keeps kind of the technical stuff on this side going, I usually will focus more on making sure that PPC is like run more smoothly, all things considered. All right, so there we go. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna have here. Yeah, just everybody enjoy Jules's hair while it's here before she gets tired of messing with it and shaves her head again.
Yeah.
No. So basically, the reason why this Verbalace guy, what the fuck just fell down? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Is bad is because a couple reasons. One, you saw that animation, and for those who are listening, I encourage you to go to youtube.com/HIMediaTV and watch it yourself for the video version, or go to HIMedia.gg/PCCXTRR and watch the video version there, so you can see this cringy ass animation. Why? Because it is very poorly made. That guy spent $50,000 on that.
Hey, I forgot that he spent 50 bands on that.
And do you know who the person was that did it? A 15-year-old kid.
He paid a 15-year-old 50, not even 15, 50,000 bands for the most like Adult Swim of the fucking thing I've ever seen. Like not even Adult Swim. Like Adult Swim's doing good lately, but like, dude, why would you even put that out? Like, why would you even pay him if that's all you got for 50,000?
Yeah. It's. I have some theories. First of all, part of the reason is his uh firstly, I think first thing the thing is I think it is that uh all of his VAs for his YouTube videos haven't been paid. He hasn't paid his VAs, his voice actors.
Damn.
And I guess this way he could like declare bankruptcy or something, but he's also like married.
Dude, you'll get sued for that, not paying people for their labor. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The other thing is that and this is kind of where I want to get into like the characters. So Charlie. So I want to talk a little bit about Has Been Hotel, because I saw the pilot back when it came out in 2018. Loved the pilot. All of my friends liked the pilot. A lot of my very 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 much a show that wasn't necessarily made for me. Honestly, the show is very much for the gays and the theys, but it's like when you're a kid and you like watch something as a kid and you're just like, I'm here for the ride or whatever. I did very much enjoy the musical score. Very, very good in that regard. And, I did like a couple of the characters, so I was cool to stick around with it. But, the show very much has like overt depictions of like, it doesn't show it overtly, but it's like everything short of like penetration. Like there's no nipples, or you don't see any like penises.
Like it has like heavy sexual content.
Heavy sexual content in certain parts. They're like drug use, alcoholism, swear words, the whole nine yards. Like they got the fucking like the voice actor who played the voodoo doctor in The Princess and the Frog to play one of the characters, and he sings a whole ballad.
Didn't pay them.
Oh no! This is no. I'm talking about a separate IP called Has Been Hotel, which that character that was chasing him, trying to rape him, was from. Here's the thing about that character, right? For all of the sexuality in that show, for all of the negativity in that show. Charlie's character is quintessentially the most overwhelmingly positive character in that show. She has a
Yeah.
girlfriend named Vaggie who like she's like close with, but it's like the intimacy that they have is like very much like, oh, a hug, I trust you, I love you, that kind of stuff. It's never alluded to that they're fucking. It's never alluded to that they ever have any like interest in doing that type of stuff. It's it's for all intents and purposes, Charlie is a very asexual character in that regard. Very much a child, more childish, childlike, very innocent, very pure, seeing the better of people around her, a very good person.
Yeah.
And there are plenty, if I would also argue, very attractively drawn characters, very sexual characters in that IP.
Mhm. But
Why did
like
you have to pick the one character that was innocent and kind and loving and has nothing about her like that is sexual to have a send $50,000? Like, that's one of those things that I don't fucking understand, right? There are characters that are sexual and have a sexuality to them, and that is a part of their character, both from an empowerment standpoint or a commentary on sexuality in general. But to like, I think it says something like kind of gross that you would pick a character that is, you know, that is not those things, and put them in a situation where they would be doing that type of shit that they absolutely wouldn't otherwise.
I think it's either because he doesn't care about the fandom or because he cares more about objectifying a female character, like just because he can. Like when you were talking about the objectification of women in media, it's just like it's the fact that she was untouched by that, I think is the appeal to it.
Yeah, that's gross to me, because like for those
Because like the
watching on
deflowering
YouTube,
thing
this
is
is
a
what she
thing
looks
that's like
like.
very
Is Yeah, that's a very patriarchal thing. Like, she wears a pantsuit usually, and she looks like this. Like, she's like, she wears a pantsuit, and she's very much not a sexual character. Versus, like, let me pick another one. Versus, say, a Carmine from Has Been Hotel, who looks like this.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and even then, this character isn't like it doesn't do any like sexual things or anything like that, but it's like she is very much a character that has a feeling of empowered femininity. Carmine, she has, she has very long legs, walks on ballet shoes and stilettos, and has a very defined body type. And like, and she's not doing anything sexual, like she's not one of the sexual characters, but it's very like, that's very like that maturity, like that's very much part of the design. Charlie is very much like, this is a child
Well, also
to
the
me.
fact that like she's a lesbian too. It's like why would you write a character like canonically to be a sexual predator who's not only not sexual in their like nature but also like a lesbian? Like it literally doesn't make any sense, and it seems like you're prioritizing the objectification of a character you clearly want to have sex with because you paid 50 bands for a 15-year-old to animate you being preyed upon by this character. It just says a lot about like how he views women in respect to like how comfortable he is with commodifying them or exploiting their image. And again, it's a character, but it's very, how you've explained it, it's very particular to like this character is not sexual in nature and this character is a lesbian. Like make it make sense.
Like, I understand, I understand like the idea of like wanting to like, I understand the idea of like wanting to smash a fictional character.
But also
Like,
like why are you
I
why are you
played
publishing?
Baldur's Gate 3. I romanced Karlach on my first thing. Like, come on.
Yeah, but like, why are you publishing basically your rape fantasy with this character? Like that's so unhinged, and it's more unhinged to do it with like 50 bands.
So, you know what I think? I think the reason he did it was because is that he wanted in court a reason to justify not having to pay the people he owes, because he says, "Hey, look, I spent this amount of money on this animation and I published it and it did poorly, and so I have to declare bankruptcy. Hence, I don't have to pay for this shit. That's what I think is the thing behind it.
I don't even think he's smart enough to do that because a smart person would just pay their voice actors.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you owe your voice actors if like 50 bands is something you're willing to throw down the drain on some bullshit? Also, I don't think what he published was all that was drawn.
Yeah.
I think that there was some explicit stuff that was drawn that he just didn't publish for other people. Also, like I feel like if you had like I feel like I feel like Derpexion would have like done that shit for 30 and gotten you a much higher quality product, just saying. But that's just
Yeah.
me.
Well, moving on though, I do have something I wanted to show you because I knew about this and I thought it was so cute.
DM me.
Um,
DM it to me.
no. I can announce it here on the Red Rundown. It's Valentine's Day news. A
Ooh.
zoo will name a cockroach after your ex and feed it to an animal on Valentine's Day. The Crimea Cockroach fundraiser by the San Antonio Zoo permits individuals to name a cockroach after an ex and observe it being fed to an animal, providing an unconventional means of closure or revenge on Valentine's Day. For a fee, not only the cockroaches but also rats and vegetables can be assigned names linked to a less than special individual, with the proceeds contributing to the zoo's conservation initiatives. So yeah, go to the San
And
Antonio Zoo.
you go to sazoo.org slash cry dash me dash a dash cockroach. I have it pulled up for folks. You can spend $10 to name a roach, $5 to name a veggie, and then $25 to name a rodent. That way is going to get eaten by a snake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
What would you name? Wait, okay, wait. Let's go back and forth. So, what would you name a cockroach?
Joey Haggard. I don't actually I don't have any negative opinions of anybody I've been intimate with.
Oh, you're mature. I would name the cockroach Maverick. I
I'm
would.
also a man, so like it's I think the perception might be a little different.
What's the other one? Like, so wait, it's a cockroach and then a mouse, but then what else?
A vegetable.
Okay, so I would name the cockroach Maverick because that relationship was inappropriate because I was a minor and he wasn't. But Romeo and Juliet, let's save him. So he's a cockroach. And then for a vegetable, who's my dumbest ex? Hmm, probably Angel. And then for the rodent, uh, me and Roxanne are still friends. Actually, I think I would just name a rodent after her because she really likes snakes. So we're still friends. I think she would be complimented by that.
For me, I would title the cockroach to be after Joey Haggard, my father, being a deadbeat piece of shit. You can't relate because you're not part of the Alcoholic Fathers Club. Go fuck yourself, Jules. Lucky bitch.
I mean, my dad loves alcohol, but he's a happy drunk.
You had to go outside your family circle to get traumatized. We were born into it.
Not the wait. Why is that true though?
Leaf. The leaf. I would probably pick it as For the leaf. I would probably pick Faye Fresalone, a former friend of mine who kind of just broke my heart in regards like in friendship terms and just refused to like have a conversation and talk with me and like fix our shit and have an adult conversation because she just sucked. She just sucked. And we were friends for 10 years and it blew up my entire friend group. I'm only friends with one person from there at this point, and I can't even bring him around like here to hang out with me and Meadow because Meadow's still mad at all those motherfuckers for how they treated me, and I'm afraid she's gonna
Yeah.
be mean to Will, my one friend left. And as far
Well,
as the
that should be Chica bitch if we're gonna do it for friends, like former friends.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, you can do it. I'm doing it for other people in my life. You can do it for your exes. Like my dating my the times amount of people I dated, very small. The amount of people I've had sex with, very small compared to most people our age. And I don't really think ill of anybody I've had sex with, including the sex workers too. So like it's just I don't speak ill of people in that regard. I don't have any ill will. Um and the third person, who's someone else in my life I just want them to go fuck themselves. Oh, they're not in my life, but I'd like it if Mitch McConnell, his rat ass, could die. But that's just me.
Wait, we should name a rat Takashi 69.
That's a good one. Lord.
There was,
But
I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "How do you feel about being called the snake?" And then it was a celebrity, and they're like, "How do you feel about being called a snake?" She's like, "Well, snakes eat rats, so."
yeah, it's to an I for Valentine's Day. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, please go give your money to support zoos. They're very, very important. They allow children to be able to experience and learn about things in more engaging and fun ways than just sitting in a fucking classroom. Zoos are important for conservation of certain animals. And this Valentine's Day, donate money to the San Antonio Zoo by getting your name written on a cockroach, a vegetable, or a rat, and have it be fed to an animal. Similar to how you could get you could have your like names written on a rocket and have and on Ukrainian artillery and have it shot at Russian forces, which I thought was also cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah, don't off the top of my head I can't really think of anything else I wanted to address. I was surprised we were able to get through the verbal loss stuff so fucking quickly. I was surprisingly concise with what I wanted to say.
Also, I guess just like to wrap it up, happy Black History Month. And if you guys want any literature, I do suggest Octavia Butler, anything she's written. That's what I'm reading right now. Right now, I'm reading Kindred, and next on my reading list is Parable of the Sower. As well as support Black creators, donate to Black creators, and a really radical viewpoint that I really like that somebody on TikTok brought up is like, yeah, now when I have my like mutuals of color and I ask them for their input on something, I pay them because I think we don't give enough credit to the BIPOC people in our lives or in our like just in our lives, like our friendships and stuff like that. Like, if somebody's taking the time to educate you, pay them for their work. Education is work. And so
Yep.
you should really support Black creators this month. And um, the BIPOC movement really still stands in alignment with Palestine. So keep talking about Palestine because there
Yep.
are Black Palestinians.
Yep. One more note, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, uh, Again, if you guys want to listen to the show, watch the show, or watch the show, you can go to HIMedia.gg slash PPCXTRR. I'm probably going to change that link around a little bit to make it less clunky, but yeah, that way it's on the High Media web app where you can listen to the episodes as they're released. You can watch the videos as they come out. There's also a Jules approved nude feed with news sources that Jules has deemed good enough as far as mainstream news sources are concerned. Um,
There was this person in like Instagram comments because so there was this post where it was like, oh, if you went to one funeral a day for all the children in Palestine, it would take you 27 years. And I looked up Al Jazeera, their estimate on how many children unfortunately have been genocided. And I was like, it would take 30 years now, according to Al Jazeera. And somebody was like, yeah, Al Jazeera, the like news source from Qatar. Like, how dare you be using that? And it's like, if you're implying that only Western media is reliable media, I don't know how to help you, fam. Like, like you are so lost. So yes, if anybody has a problem with me saying I trust Al Jazeera, like maybe be a bit more critical of your Western media.
yeah, no, absolutely. I will generally like trust out like certain news outlets. on certain topics over others. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but
Because like,
that's
what do
me.
they have to gain? Like any critique that like Al Jazeera has of the West and like Israel, it's in the name of stopping a genocide. Any critique that the West has of Palestine is to further a genocide. So you really have to think about media literacy and like why these people are putting out like because there is an agenda, but which one is the better agenda?
Yeah. Lastly, and I'm giving this as an announcement because I will bully Jules into helping me with this. If you can look on the web app as it is right now, there's it looks like there should be 4 columns for people to like work with. That fourth column is going to be a reading list, an Amazon reading list that I'm gonna have Jules compile, and I'm going to embed in this site. So if you want literature, or like, so next time some dickhead in Jules' comment section says, "Oh, what should I be reading?" You just send them to this fucking link.
Yeah, or if they're like, where did you get your information from?
This bitch. Dink. There you go. But yeah,
Dink.
that's But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening to the Red Rundown. I appreciate you. Go follow Jules on her TikTok. Go subscribe to me on YouTube. The whole 9 yards. And if you guys want those links and to support with us or join the community here on our Discord server, please go to himedia.gg/ppcxtrr, or just go to himedia.gg and just click the red run. Just click the red rundown button, which I will have to remember to put here on the main page because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, have a good one, everybody.
Buen día.